Hey everybody, welcome to TalkO Tuesday. I'm Rick, your host. Welcome in. Thanks for joining me. I'm supposed to have a co-host. He's not here yet. I'm sure Matt will join us soon. We got lots of stuff to talk about. Habs made a big trade last night, or I guess it was yesterday. I don't remember exactly the time. All I do know is I got the trade. Harry warned me that this might be happening. And by the time I checked it out, it had just happened. The announcement was like a minute old, and I was able to get a video out there, so I was on top of it. Honestly, don't remember what time that was. So we've got ourselves one of those players that you see other teams make trades for or whatever, and we never get that guy. Now there's baggage there with Laine, and I get that. I was not really for doing this, I'd say a month ago. Definitely against it. I did say that if they do this trade, I'd be all for it because I trust in my management that they would do their due diligence and make sure, this trade was worth doing, and they did, and the price they paid was nothing. That was my big worry about Laine was what would that cost us, and if the price was going to be too high, it wasn't going to be worth it, right? Now, the price is high in that his salary is high, but it's only for 2 years. It's $8.7 million. The Habs have the cap space, so it's not a problem that way. It's a bit of a risk. There's no doubt there's risk, but there's a high reward. So you could say it's a high risk, high reward type of a trade. But man, if that pays off and you get the reward, it's going to be amazing. Bet you that's Matt that just texted me. No, it's not. It's not. Oh, it's Harry. Harry, I thought Harry might join us, but Harry's not going to join us. All right. So, high risk, high reward. As GM Hughes said, I heard in his he did the live press conference. I saw some of it. And he said, listen, if you want high reward and you want a guy like that, there's risk involved. Unless you're drafting the player and developing him, in general, when you get a guy like this, there's some risk involved. There's a reason you're getting this guy. I don't know if anybody. I'm going to get to everybody in the chat in a minute. I don't know if anybody saw Patrik Laine's press conference. I guess they did an interview with him, and I like what I heard. I like what I heard from Laine. Sounds like he's ready for the challenge. Sounds like he needed out of Columbus. And you can look at his numbers here. We'll show you his hockey DB, and you can see if you can see that his numbers in Columbus were, while not horrible, but I mean he missed a lot of games with injury and stuff. His numbers, look at his plus minus, was horrible. He wasn't happy there. I think it's clear you can see there he wasn't very happy there. Will he be happy in Montreal? Apparently, and he apparently likes the challenge, likes the pressure. Oh, Mr. Harry is actually joining me. I didn't think he was going to. Hang on, Mr. Harry. Harry Rice. I thought when you texted me, I thought, okay, you're not coming in.
No. I just saw the text. I thought it was going to be a little bit later. I apologize.
Oh, no apologies. Look, my other co-host's not here. What are you apologizing? You made it. By the way, everybody, that's Harry Rice. Harry's been kind of off for like a week and how long has it been? Almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks. Yeah,
it's crazy. Flooding when we had the big storm. Harry's place got flooded, and he's in the basement there. So,
yeah.
Oh, I see. There's some change in the back. Nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. You might as well. We had to remove everything, right?
Yeah. We of course, obviously, like I told you, the basement got flooded. We had to get the carpet all clean. We decided, we've been wanting to do this for like a year, so we decided now's the best time. Why not? They got to come out of the room anyways. So
yeah, perfect. So you didn't lose any of those, did you? You didn't lose.
No, thankfully not. It was only about an inch or two of water. The shelves are like 4 inches off the ground, so thankfully
Awesome.
Didn't lose any.
Awesome. Good to hear that all survived. Because hey, we also have a show that we do on Harry's channel, Movie Talk. Those things are important.
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, so we sidetracked there for a bit. Harry, I haven't even heard from you at all. I heard what Matt thinks about this. Maybe they haven't, but I have. What do you think?
I love it. You know, I've been a huge proponent. If anybody here listens to the Have Normals, which if you don't, you really should. It's a great podcast.
It is.
I've been a huge proponent that I want Patrik Laine as a Montreal Canadien. I've said it time and time again, and especially for the return that it is. You get a second round pick, and all you give up is Jordan Harris.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
Worth it.
Going into this, when I was against it, one of my biggest complaints was the price you're going to have to pay to get it.
Yeah, how much it would have to be. Yeah,
this is the price.
None of us expected it to be this low. I think.
You know, and you see people not happy about it. And I'm like, how? The price is not high.
Yeah, there were a couple of people that came by my stream saying like, "Oh, I don't like this," and it's like, how? Like, I get the cap hit, but like, we don't have anybody important for those 2 years to really resign.
Right, the cap hit's not a. They can handle a cap hit. That's not a problem. Don't people? I think they forget, right? As long as they're under day one, Carey Price goes on LTIR. Boom, they've got 10 million, and anything that they add, got whatever they have to do. That's not a problem. The money.
No, not at all.
So if there's injuries during the season, they're going to have money. So this
they can call up a Sean Farrell or a Josh Wall or a Reinbacher if they need to. None of these guys are really
all kinds of
anyways.
They'll have all kinds of options. All kinds of. So I forgot that you were Line A proponent. I forgot about that. So needless to say, you're ecstatic. I mean, I think
I
think most of the fan base is, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm actually ecstatic for two reasons because of yesterday. So obviously the Line A trade happened and I went live. And secondly, we hit 1K subscribers on my channel yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now you got what? Some watch hours to catch up and then boom.
Yeah, some watch hours, yeah.
Get busy, my friend.
Oh, believe me, I will. I'm making a video tomorrow. I'm especially because we're not doing Have Normals tomorrow. I'm going to make a video. We've got, of course, the movie talk. Hopefully we can do that this Sunday.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Matt in the chat.
Matt's in the chat. I'm sorry, everybody in the chat.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Matt just said, I hate my laptop.
Yeah, he's having laptop problems.
He'll be getting that new one eventually.
Well, let's while we segued there for a second, let's say hi to everybody in the chat because I didn't get there yet. Hey, Quinn, how's it going? Quinn, first in. That's not often. Yeah, I'm doing well. Quinn says Line A trade is good and we have nothing to lose there. I agree with that. Like even if Line A is only so-so, say he puts up 20, 25 goals, whatever. You gave him Jordan Harris.
And you got a second round pick to get those 25 goals.
And a second round pick for 2026.
Yeah. Which is something insane. There was one guy in my chat as well who said, if Laine does anything below point per game, it's a disappointing trade. I'm like, we got paid to take on the contract. Anything over like 5 points is a win.
Well, okay, no, not that exactly.
But like anything over like 30 points, I think could be considered a win.
He definitely doesn't have to do a point a game.
No, but like I think at least 20 goals should be expected. 20 goals, I think.
But that potential is there. Did you see what he said about? One of the reporters asked him about basically 30 goals. He says, "No, I'm not coming back to score 30 goals. 40.
I'm coming back to score 40. Yeah,
40 to 50 goals is more like it. Basically,
exactly. That's like, I love his attitude already. I love it.
It was a good answer.
It's not like, oh, yeah, no, come back. Yeah, I'll score 30 and I'll go from there. No, I want 40, 50 right away. I love that.
Most players probably would have gone with that. We'll start whatever.
We'll see how it goes. See if I can get a groove. No, I want 40 or 50. Anything below that is a disappointment. I love that.
Which means he still has the fire.
Yep. He does.
And Columbus just wasn't for him.
No.
He said it was not a good fit there. He said it. It wasn't a good fit.
No. Laine seems like a guy who wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to be like the number one guy. And
not necessarily number one. I think if you remember when it was rumored he was leaving or wanted out of Winnipeg, they said I remember this. He wanted to go to a big market team where hockey is really important and all that stuff, And so if that's the case, then he must enjoy the pressure and all that. And he said that, this is what he wants.
Yeah, he said he wanted to come to Montreal.
He wants Montreal. Montreal was not. They asked Hughes, did he have to waive his no trade clause?
Oh yeah, that.
And he said nope. So you weren't on there. Yeah, you weren't on the list. Nope. So Montreal was a place he was wanting to go. Yeah. So I mean that's all good, right? You want to hear that. Let me get back to these guys. Derek, hey Derek. Derek likes it. Hey Baybye, I know you like this one. No, I'm not sure how Baybye thinks about this. Seems players are starting to want to come to Montreal with MSL and the present management. Now that's a good point because I'm prepared for this. I've said this before. When Montreal starts getting good, people are saying, well, how are they going to attract free agents, right? And I've said they're going to want to come here. And one of the points I mentioned was Coach Marty St. Louis. Players like him, they're going to want to come and play for him. So here's something that I've got from Frank Saravalli. One of the things I found fascinating about Patrik Laine's conversation with the media was that he pointed out Marty St. Louis, the coach of the Habs, was a big selling point for him. It's not often that you hear coaching being at the top of a guy's list. So now, this was a trade. Sure, it's not a – but when guys are, are out there on the market, it's a selling point, and there's proof right there. So, one for Rick. I've said this many times. Listen, people have commented in comments that I'm wrong and said it in the chat and all that. I'm not wrong. You get the right coach, you're going to get players coming for that guy as well. And then you got the GM who's a player agent, knows how to handle players with kid gloves, as they say. Right? I mean, he knows how to handle players. They feel comfortable with that guy. Players are going to want to come here. And then if you win in Montreal, is the ultimate place to win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And I love what Laine said as well. And I know it's something that everybody who comes here says, but I love that he said he's coming here to win a cup in Montreal. It feels genuine out of him, though. It
does, because he made an emphasis on the winning. And that's, this was a problem in Columbus. He came from Winnipeg. They didn't win a lot. And then he went to Columbus and they won even less. And if this is a guy that is, I want to win, then he's not, and he said he likes what's happening here, and all that. So players will come here when we need.
I think so too, especially if we make some noise this year or next year. I think you're going to start seeing a lot more players wanting to
We'll talk about that, because I think everybody's expectations now
have gone up. Yes, absolutely.
Has definitely gone up. I just want to get to some more people. Shit, I scrolled. How did I scroll so much? Hey there, again. Sorry, Asia one of a kind player, top 10 in the league in talent, but kind of reminds him of Alex Kovalev or Ovechkin. Well, you know how he reminds me of Kovalev in another way?
Oh.
Look what we gave up to get Laine. So now if Laine gets here and he can revert back to somewhat or all of what the Laine when he first came in.
When he was in Winnipeg,
that's going to be like an amazing deal for what we gave up, for what we got. The last guy with that kind of a deal, and an even better one, but was Kovalev. What we gave up to get Kovalev was Joseph Ballet,
and a second-round pick.
Who you've never heard of before and you'll never hear of again. But we gave up nobody and nothing to get Kovalev. It's a very similar. Yep. I was talking to Matt about it yesterday, and I said that it reminds me of that. All right.
Yeah, and it actually is funny. Funny enough, the three players involved, Laine to Kovalev, Ballack was the third-round pick, like Harris, and then there's a second-round pick involved. So it's almost identical.
It's a very similar situation. Yeah. And then
the only thing is which.
Maybe that's an omen for how this trade's going to work out.
Yeah, and I mean, I hope so, because that means he's going to get a 30-goal season, a point per game season. Like, I'm more than fine with that.
I'm doing as is the funny thing about when this trade was announced. I was working on this here. I'm going to flash it. So this is it's a points prediction.
Oh, quickly. Okay.
Points prediction for next year. I had everything done. I was about to start. No, I had done everything. No, I was about to start doing all the overlays and stuff. And I had just done all this. And then you texted me that Friedman just announced. So I come to the computer. I'm sitting down. Yeah. By the time I find it all, it's announced. It's official.
Yeah. 1 minute. Laine is the Montreal Canadiens. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how quick. So now we're talking about points. What kind of points do you think? You want to make a prediction? What you think he could get here next year?
I'll make a prediction. I'm gonna probably do this in the video as well, but why not? I'll give you guys a little early peek. I think with Laine. Now, of course, I'll say obviously it depends on if he gets injured, if guys beside him get injured, what happens? First line, second line,
without any injury.
Let's say everybody stays healthy and all that, and all 82 games. I'm gonna say 30 goals, 65 points. I think you're gonna see a real big rebound from Patrik Laine from this season.
Yeah, I got it a little more than you, but just a little bit actually. I've got in the goal side. I have a little bit more than you. I'm not gonna say how much my video is gonna come out soon, but I'm a little bit more optimistic than you. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think he's going to respond to the coaching, to the situation here, to the players and how they bonded and how tight the team is, to the way the management handles the players, to everything, the development team, to everything that's here now in this city. I think is a great fit for him.
Yeah,
for him, this is a great.
It definitely is.
This is a team that is going to be a great fit, and it offers him that challenge that he wants, that pressure that he wants, and that city. That big market, hockey crazy city that he wanted from when he was in Winnipeg.
Yeah, I honestly think he wanted to be drafted by Toronto first overall in 2016 because he wanted that big market, and he got disappointed.
Yeah. It's true. He was drafted second behind Austin Matthews.
Yeah, 2016. Yeah, so that's something that a lot of people brought up. Matthews and Laine, 1 and 2, they're in the same division now.
Yeah, and first game of the season. And first game of the season, they line up.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Marty, as like a little, hey, we trust you, put him out on that top line just for that first shift with Matthews. It wouldn't surprise me.
No, I don't think he coaches like that. But maybe just for the one shift. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, like for the one shift, just like a, hey, look, we trust you. Go out against Matthews. Show us what you can do. Like just for that top shift.
I don't know if you want to make it about that, honestly. Why put that pressure on him? Personally, that's what. But you never know. When that's in the future. We don't need to argue over that.
Yeah.
Where was I? I don't remember where the freaking hell I was now.
You were with Ghislain, where he's reminds him of Kovalev and Ovechkin.
Beba, that interview. If anybody hadn't seen this interview, was I guess on TSN with Laine, a bunch of reporters. Look for it. It was a really good. You want to get to a good feel for him. I thought that was a good way to get a feel for where he's at. Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good way to put it. Get what mindset he's in.
Yeah, coming into Montreal, from what you've heard and all that kind of stuff to what you assume is going, and then you see this kid and how he's talking, and you can see his face, and you know what I mean. You get a feel for it. Yeah, exactly. Stan the Man says, after watching Laine's interview with the media, I think he will do well in Montreal. MSL will make him a great player. I think it's a good coach for him.
Absolutely.
And a good situation that he's stepping into for him. I think it's what he wants, what he's looking for, what he's hoping for. And if he has to reprove himself, it's a great situation for him to be in to do that.
Yeah, it's definitely a great, which is ironic because most people who want to, reinvigorate their game, wouldn't go to a place where he's going to have the spotlight on him all the time. But Laine, he wants that. And I love that he wants to be in a place where he'll have the spotlight on him in a way. And because it's Montreal and they're always going to be like, oh, how's Laine going to do? I think he really wants that. I think he wants maybe not to be criticized, but I think he wants that, like,
the pressure.
What's Laine going to do? What's Laine going to do? Yeah. Like,
he wants the pressure and the spotlight and all that. Now, you know what number he's going to be wearing?
Yeah, he's flipping 29. He's going to 92.
Right. He's going to be wearing in the last 29 around. That is the other guy that came in here and couldn't handle the pressure.
Nick Baudin?
Jonathan Drouin.
Nick Baudin was the last player to wear 92, though.
Okay, well, I meant Jonathan Drouin.
You're right. I get what you mean. I get that, but that
was just to give you one of those little.
I get that.
We all know that he loves Jonathan Drouin.
Yeah. But funny enough, someone did mention it that Laine just flips his 29, could probably go to 92. And I didn't think it would work in my head. I was like, Laine 92? That doesn't work. And then the thing came out with his name in 92. I was like, that looks good. That's beautiful. So apparently actually seeing it.
He asked for 29. They said, no, you can't have that. He goes, oh, why can't I have that? Well, number 29, Ken Dryden, legendary goalie. Oh, okay. 92. Apparently he took it well.
I love that.
Hey, Matt, how you doing, Matt? Computer problems, have we?
Yeah, it's stupid. My laptop just randomly decides when it wants to update itself. Like sometimes I'll turn it on, it'll be fine. Sometimes I'll turn it on and boot it up, and it takes like 20 minutes to update.
Yeah, no, what I think happens is you turn it on and it says, oh, are you going on air to do a show? Oh, yeah, we're going to update then. Right? It seems to be when you have something to do with it. All right, Huzu. Hey, Huzu. Did I miss JFed? Wait a second. JFed, Montreal paid pretty much nothing. But if Laine doesn't back check, doesn't finish checks, is a -20, this trade won't mean much. I'm hopeful it works out. Okay, I'm going to bring up these again just to this is my argument to that. So this is Hockey DB. Look at his numbers on the plus-minus side in Winnipeg. He had 1 year, okay, -24, not great. Other than that, he was a plus. And look at all the years in Columbus, minus, and horrible numbers. This is a player not happy where he is on a shitty team.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not worried about that part of his game. I think he's going to be he's going to do what everybody else does and work hard and do all those things to the best that he can do it. I don't expect miracles, but he's gonna be better at that, I think, than he's been. What do you guys think?
Mm-hmm. I mean, even if not, like if he scores 40 goals, I don't really care.
Like, pretty much, as long as he's not like
if he puts up 40 to 50 goals, I could care less what he does.
Unless he's a minus
guys that can support him in that way, like it's not like that's gonna,
okay. But if he scores 40 or 50 and he's a -50 or something, then there's a point to it. But I just think that he's playing on a team.
40 to 50 goals and say he's like a -8, like no one's gonna give a crap.
Oh no, nobody's gonna give a crap for that. Hell, Nick Suzuki's a minus. Like something's in front of your camera, Harry. And
that's a fly.
Yeah, fly. Nick Suzuki's a -14 last year, I think. No one's complaining about his -14.
No.
Right? So the numbers like that, it doesn't matter, I don't think. As long as the production is there.
Yeah. No, right? 1,000%.
I mean, as well, I will say, I think Laine is a big boy. He's 6'5", 210 pounds. So I don't think he's afraid to finish checks. I think he just doesn't get the chance to really because he needs to be focused on the scoring in Columbus. I think in Montreal, he'll have that opportunity to show a little bit of a meaner side to him, I think.
To and a more well-rounded side too. And what was it Hugh said that? And they both said this actually. They mirrored each other. That he wants to score the 40 or 50 goals, yes.
Yeah.
But if he scores 20, he said, and we win and we're winning, That's what matters. Is the
Yes.
winning is what matters, not his
And
points
that is
and all
that is a
that.
great
And-
mindset to have.
And Hughes said this. This is what they talked about because they did talk.
Well, they did.
They had
I
a
read
good
more about
meeting
that
before.
today too. The Habs did. Gordon and Hughes did a ton of homework before they pulled the trigger on this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like they
Yeah, I
were.
think Montreal's been in on this. That one team that Waddell said there's one team that's interested. It's been Montreal.
Probably, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it's been, at least according to what Kent Hughes said, they had been kind of talking about it for like going on weeks now. And like the final kind of, right before they pulled the trigger was going to meet with Patrik Laine to make sure that, that he was all right and to get his thoughts on it. And then once they were reassured, they go, all right, we were actually quite comfortable with this. And then they called up Don and said, all right, deal.
Yeah, they saw what we saw in that TSN interview where they had him, right? They saw what I saw in it. They saw that.
Yeah, and look, like this management group wasn't making this trade unless they were confident that there was a good chance that he was going to bounce back. You know what I mean? Like, if they didn't think there was if they didn't think he was like good mentally or fit like
right
where he needed to be to excel on the ice again, they wouldn't have made the trade.
I believe that too. And you could see in that interview, he's in a good spot. He's in a good spot.
God,
and then you put him in a place.
He's excited to get back on the ice and go, I'm Patrik fucking Laine. Like this is who I am. And
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, by the way, I never left. I just, I was in Cuckapoo Pee Pee Town twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, listen, he had mental issues. He wasn't happy in Columbus. It's clear that, this is my take from it, reading between the lines of what he said, that he could say, right? He can't come out flat out and say that, right? He he said it wasn't a fit for him. It wasn't a good situation. It affected his mental health. And I think like really early on in Columbus, this started to happen. And then last season when they brought in Babcock and that whole situation and switched the coach of that, like that could not have been good for his mental health. The guy's already suffering from these issues. So he went to the players assistance program. He got his head on straight and he's in a great spot right now.
Him and his girlfriend too started like a nonprofit too for like mental health awareness and stuff like that.
So he's in a good spot. Mm-hmm. He's coming to Montreal in that good spot, just entering his prime at 26 with 9 seasons under his belt. So this is a veteran and he's young and he's feeling his oats and this could be a great season. If he's handled right, this is a great season, I think.
I think so too. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like you guys stated, while I was watching on my phone, I was waiting for my laptop to boot up. It's like I said, last 2 half normals ago, even on Pat last week. Like, if there was any team that I think could turn Laine around, that'd be a really good spot for him. It was Montreal, and that wasn't unbiased. That's again just looking at the way the organization's run now, and Coach Marty St. Louis. Like to me, it just screamed like a match made in heaven. Like I'd be really.
And the proof is there because he singled out. One of the reasons why he's really happy coming here is Coach Marty.
Marty was with Hugo when they went to meet with him. The 3 of them went and met with him, I think, over the past weekend.
Yep. So, that's a big thing. And like he's with a coach that is going to handle him well. Is going to put him in situations that he's going to succeed in. Like that's what they're going to do. And his confidence is going to grow. And he still has that shot. That shot didn't go anywhere.
Oh, no.
Put all that together.
It's just going to get better, I think.
Man, imagine that shot now is on our top 6.
Do a little shooting lesson a couple times after practice with them. Like
that shot is now in our top 6.
Yeah.
That shot is now on our power play.
We got another, potential point per game goal scorer now. And then you add Demidov next season to the top 6.
Yeah.
I 2 of the top 10 lines in hockey, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Like if Doc stays healthy, Laine hits, Demidov to that. The sky's the limit. You know what? Like,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I talked about it on my stream as well. Is that I think they're priming Laine to be kind of a mentor towards Demidov, at least for that first season, with the shot that he has, the playmaking that he has. Like, I think they're really gonna frame Demidov to take after a Patrik Laine type, at least with the shot. I'm looking forward to seeing that on the second line with Doc next year.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did. Some people still out there talking about Demidov being in Montreal next season. It's not happening. But yeah, there'll be that 1 year
this
overlap.
Season, next season though, like next offseason.
Yeah, there'll be a 1 year overlap at least that will have Laine and Demidov in his first season. So
Yep.
And I was talking with Matt last night because we had a meeting and everything. Matt and I were talking a little bit after, and I think they could resign. Like if everything goes well.
I mean, it certainly sounds like the plan here is if he does bounce back, he's staying. Like
he's staying.
By everything that was said, it certainly sounds like the plan is, listen, you come back and you Patrik effing Laine, you're here long. We're giving you a long-term contract. We're gonna win.
Yeah, we'll resign you. And listen,
and I hope
contract is done. He'll be 28, still young.
It's still
you sign a guy at 28.
He's entering his prime. He's only 26.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a really good situation. And I mean, listen, it could go south. Of course, it could. But why think negatively like that? I'm not going to.
No,
right?
No, there's no point in doing that. And even if it does, okay, cool. You got him for 2 years and you get a second round pick still. Like, there's virtually no risk to this.
There's no risk. Well, there is. I mean, it's risky in that you're paying $8.7 million a year.
Right.
If he doesn't hit, that's the risk. But the reward is just as, it might be bigger than what the risk is, right? So the reward is probably bigger.
If he bounces back and he's point a game 40 to 50 goal Patrik Laine, the rewards up here, the risk is like in the basement. Like this.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean the risk is still pretty high, but if he hits and the reward is that high, the reward is bigger than the risk. But the risk is still a high risk because of the money. Right? Because of the money, it is a high risk. But at least it's not like they've got to send guys away and blah 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 to make that work. Right? They're going to make that work.
Yeah, I texted you earlier, Rick. All they got to do is just literally pick out of a hat somebody that's got waiver exemption, send him down the day before the season starts.
That's
it. Goes to LTIR, and then you call him back up, and then boom.
Even if it's two guys, you send him down the day before the season.
I think it's only $400K. I think they got to make up.
They're 437. I want to say, sure, over the cap, which is nothing, right? So you send one guy down. Like they said, like Struble, whoever.
We have $550,000 in cap space right now.
In caps, okay. I heard it was 437. Right, that they still had left, but it's still they have a little bit, and they need to sign. I think they only have 21 guys fully signed on the roster, but you can start the season like that, and then once day one, you put Carey Price, and you're good.
And then boom, now you have $10.4 million.
We've been doing horrible with the people here in the chat. I want to apologize, but I definitely have to scroll way down to find it. Oh my God, that's how far. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
Over 50.
Thank you, Matt Greer. Totally appreciate that.
Thank you.
It's been a while since I got one, but I just saw it up there, and I want to acknowledge that. Thank you, appreciate that. The draw thing is still on, just not getting very much of this right now. So if your name goes in the draw, so no worries. When we do the next one, you're in there. I can't see the sticker, so it doesn't show that to me here. Can't believe how many how many were comments. I apologize. I'm going to scroll a little bit, and we're going to come up to here. Renegade Man, even if Laine doesn't pan out, it's 2 years. All you gave up is a depth defenseman and receive a second. Hopefully they'll help Laine like they did with Monahan. Good point with the Monahan. Funny that I just landed on that without reading it, and it's kind of what we've been talking about. So it's kind of funny that I did land on that. So yeah, I mean it's not like they're they've got cap issues. They didn't, and this is going to be great. Phil, Wonder Phil, consider Laine for future considerations as a second for Harris is more than fair.
I think that it more than likely would have been a third for Harris, but with the non-retention, I think that's what bumped it up to a second.
Yeah, no,
so.
it's
It's
the
also
retention.
Columbus's own second-round pick, so that's probably going to be in the 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's right, and that's
it's going to be a good second-round pick.
That's the compensation for there being no salary retention.
Yeah,
I mean, that's clear.
Instead of the third, yeah.
So listen, the price we paid, it's crazy. As Sean
That's
says,
what happens when you have good management that stacks the cupboard like that. Then you make crazy.
I'm talking here. The thing is, it's 2 years. We have a win or trade him next year for a first-round pick or another young player. No downside. But I don't. As we were saying, I don't think that's how they're looking at it. But yes, that is an option. I'm sure they thought of it, but I think they're looking more like if he plays well here, we're re-signing him. Excuse, that didn't come out well. As that tooth. Remember now, here's another question to put to you guys as well. With that trade, with drafting Demidov, with all that stuff, is the Habs rebuild over now?
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, your top six right now, it's pretty friggin' good. But you got Demidov to that next year. Laine bounces back. Doc's healthy. Like I said, I think you have 2 top 10 lines in the National Hockey League.
Yep.
Yeah,
and we know
the top line is the top 5 lines statistically. We know that's there.
Yeah. Line
that
one is
second line's going to be right on their tail.
Yeah.
If all goes well. And then you got, right, when Demidov comes over, now you have Alex Newhook and Josh Waugh on the third line. I mean, they're going to be able to roll 3 good lines, like really good lines.
Oh, yeah.
3 scoring lines. They'll have 3 scoring lines. And
they will. And the bottom 6 that can check well, too. All 4 lines that could check well. Yeah. And then not to mention the blue line, of course, Lane Hudson, Mike Matheson,
Logan Mailloux,
Arbor Jack, Logan Mailloux, Reinbach.
A lot of people seem to think Logan Mailloux is going to make the team out of camp. A lot of people.
Yeah, and they do. And
I hope you enjoy the year in the A.
Well, actually, it's out there. So I don't know if you guys have seen I had to update the my lineup prediction because I just did one.
I can see like the way you covered the.
Yeah, so I updated it, and one of the changes for me was, from what I'm reading, people who know better than I do, as I said in the video, are kind of thinking it's going to be Mailloux out of camp. So I have him there on the third pairing. Yeah, I have to admit. All right, we're going to hear a message from the team doctor. Hey there, Luca. Says, hey, team, what a great move by Hugo yet again. Imagine a top 6 of Slavkov, Suki, and Doc Demidov Laine. 6 players with 60-plus point potential minimum. And that's exactly it, right? And 60 is low for some of these guys, easy, right? So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance that top line, all 3 of those guys are going to be well over 60 points this year.
Well, I'll give you this.
Oh, they're going to be able to point per game.
Since it's out of
Suzuki, and I penciled this in at the end of last year. I think Suzuki's over a point a game. I do.
Easy. Of course he is.
Let me talk here. Since my video's out there, I'll just go by line what points I gave for the lines. Okay? So line 1, Slav, Nick, and Cole. I got this line getting 230 points. Second line of Doc Newhook and Laine, 180 points.
Excuse me.
180 points for the second line.
Okay.
Third line, Evo, Andy, and Joshua Roy. For me, I have Roy there. 85 points about. And Evans, Galley, and Armia, fourth line. Pizzetta as the 13th forward, about 71 points.
Yeah.
Now, so here's where I'm going to go on my points production. For goals, I'm traditionally way the fuck over in goals. And I had it down to 277 goals, which is, you know what? I think they found those. They're going to be close to that extra 50 goals they needed to hit that 280. So I thought that. But you add Patrik Laine in there, and now
They
you're
should
looking
be
at
over 300.
this team could score over 300 goals. Now,
Yep.
That's not to say they will. I'm not saying that, but they could. The potential is going to be there this year. Like, there's going to be some scoring going on in these games.
Oh, yeah.
And that's really exciting. So, by the way, next video I think is coming out is that points for that.
Not even adding Laine, but I mean, a full season of Lane Hudson, too. I mean, that's at least another
Lane Hudson
15 goals from the back end. I mean, probably somewhere in the realm of 30 to 40 assists.
Yeah. And then if Mayu
I
makes
think
the team
and
too,
Mayu could get 10 goals.
Yeah.
Probably.
If he's full time, you know, 8 to 10 anyways, right? You know. So, no, listen, the goal production that they've been missing, I think they mostly found it, you know?
Yep.
Especially, and Rick, you and I talked about the power play, too, last night.
Oh, hang on. I got something I got to take care of here.
Oh.
Where's Matt Greer's comment? Matt Greer wants to buy a t-shirt.
Sweet.
Awesome. Hang on, Matt. I'm getting you. Hey, guys. Hope all blah, 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 blah. I'm just trying to see if that's the right one. That's not the right one. No, I don't see the thing in the comment. But, Matt, anybody, you want to buy a t-shirt? They're available. See the one right back on the wall there? The other one's up there. You're not seeing it. But if you want a t-shirt, just email me at talkinghabs at gmx.com. That's the email address in all the descriptions, all the videos. I will tell you exactly how to do that. So just email me, Matt, and I will tell you how to do that. All right?
Yeah, I'll send you an email.
And that goes for everybody. And I know, Sean McIntyre, you're out there. I haven't forgotten. It's still coming. You got to have a little bit more patience before that question comes. He wanted a t-shirt.
Yeah, let's go.
He didn't buy. If he bought one, then the shipping's in the cost. So yeah. All right, let's get back to you guys here. Maybe okay. There it is. There. How can I buy a t-shirt? They're all black, by the way. Both of them are black. We don't have anything in blue right now, anyway. And the skull and helmet in the middle. Well, there's kind of two different versions of it, but you email me, we'll work all that out. No worries. And Matt, my God, there's so many comments. I don't think we're going to be able to get to the comments. I can't help it.
No.
It's just one of those nights. We're going to just scroll a little bit and we'll go here. Let's just at random. Bored to be a Hab. Hughes had to get all his ducks in a row first before making the trade. I don't know what you mean by that. How so?
Basically, he had to make sure everything was right before he made the trade.
Yeah, I'm like interviewing Laine.
Laine was good. Laine was all right.
But I think they do that. I'm just saying, okay, my confusion is not really in that. Is that I think that's what they do every.
No, I agree.
I think this is why I trust this management as much as I do. Is they do that kind of stuff.
No, they do. They do their homework. I mean, it's
if they miss
time and time again, they do.
If they ever miss, it's going to be rare that they're going to miss on a deal because they do the work behind it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's look at the next one. Next one. Boo, boo, boo. Demidov should play like Demidov, says Derek Kane. I would hope he does. Did you guys see the he scored a goal in
I don't mean that I don't mean that he should play like Laine, but that he'll learn from Laine and have a better shot because of Laine, I think. That's what I meant by that, Derek.
Oh, well, yeah.
I was comparing Demidov and Laine.
I texted Rick after we got off last night. I said, because it clicked in my brain. I'm like, oh my God. Cole Caulfield's going to learn shooting from Patrik Laine, too.
Yeah.
Listen, and even though he's 26, he's been in the league 9 years. He's going to mentor some of these kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and he mentioned it in his interview that he wanted to mentor them.
And so did Hughes. So
yeah, they both did.
All right. I was going to say something, and now I don't remember what I was going to say. I'm not going to read Gislain's comment because there's a word in there. If I say it, I'm going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that. Not going to read that one either. If we wait till next year to get Laine, the asking price would have been much higher, and the competition would have been greater. It was now or never. You know what? Next year wasn't the option even. From what I understand from Don Waddell, this had to happen. He couldn't go back to Columbus.
Yep.
So this deal was happening this year before the season started. So, yeah. And I think I think a lot of how this happened, and I don't know this for sure, but there was, according to Waddell, there was one team interested, even though there were a bunch of this team and that team. And he said there's really only one team that I've heard from, and I don't think it's going to happen, and blah, blah, blah. Then, like a month later, he said there's legitimately 2 or 3 teams that are seriously interested. 2 days later, they pulled the trigger on this. I personally think Hughes heard this, or the Canadiens heard this and said, let's talk to him. Let's get this done. Let's talk to him, and boom, and they made the deal before another team could make this deal.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that's what I see in it. You know.
Oh yeah.
There you go. All right.
Makes sense.
Makes sense to me. Well, if I said it, of course it makes sense. Quinn says, I think you making shorts is helping your channel. Do you get the feeling? I do, but we're just started. So I'm not reading anything into it either way.
Views have been pretty all right, though. I'll say this: they're definitely bringing in engagement. Like
they're bringing in engagement. Definitely bringing in engagement.
Like the views have been very, very good.
They're mildly growing the channel so far, but it's too quick to tell. This is something I got to do, or we all have to do for a little while before, but it can't be the wrong thing to do. And they're so easy to do. Like literally I see okay, I want to do that. Within 20 minutes, I'm filming. Like I've written a little script, rehearsed it, and I'm filming. And, I've done like 10 of them so far. I'm getting better at them. With rehearsal makes a big difference. And I'm feeling a little more comfortable doing them because it's a different thing. But I like doing the shorts. Shorts are something we're going to stay doing.
The one from yesterday about Laine is already almost at 900 views. And then the video, which thank God, like the first time ever, Rick was home when news broke. He got the video up.
Not only was I home, I got the news 1 minute after it was posted that it was official. Yeah. So I got it quick.
That video is already almost at 1,500 views. So
yes. Yeah, no, listen. I needed a video badly, and I didn't know what I was. And then that happened, and there you go. Because I don't want to do videos that are going to get no engagement. And so I'm trying not to. That's why there's less videos now. I'm trying to pick the right targets that are going to get certain amount of views, I figure, and get some engagement and help grow the channel. And then that way I'm also doing a better job at the video. So, I hope I'm doing that. And now I'm doing shorts, and I don't even have to wear shorts to do the shorts. That's what's funny, because you can only see me from like here up. The only thing I don't like about the shorts, you cannot pick a thumbnail to put up there. It picks it for you, and it picks the most jackass, stupid shots of me, especially with the missing tooth. I look like I'm a goat or I don't know, some weird thing. So I'm trying to find ways to start the video so it'll take the shot there before it sees me. So I'm being creative. But anyways, it's a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoy them. But the shorts are a thing of the future. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Corey Scheidler. The potential of Laine and Demidov with Slavkovic, Caulfield, and Suzuki supporting is, you didn't continue that, but I'm going to say, is off the fucking charts.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Pardon my French there. And if you're French and you're upset that I said that, pardon my English. That's a lot of offense, he says, also, if they all live up to the expectations. Now, when I gave you my points that I thought for each line, it's expecting that they're going to live up to it, if not fully close to that. And as Harry said earlier, assuming that they're playing basically a full season.
Yeah.
You know? Now, in
There's
my
gonna be
in my
injuries, though.
points production, some guys I'm not giving 82 games because that's ridiculous. But for the big guys, it's hard to say they're not going to play 82 games. You know, for Doc, I had 80, just so that people can say, "Well, he's going to get hurt." Yeah, I gave 2 games off. All right, come on, somebody else talk beside me. I'm starting to get tired.
All right, yeah. So Babe Harris is at the bottom of the totem pole for D-man. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say no real offensive upside. In a limited role last year, he put up 14 points. I think that's pretty good. I think in Columbus, if he's given a chance, he could hit 25 points. He could be a decent number 4 defenseman. Joe was in my chat yesterday. Yeah, she mentioned when she found out the news, she had just woken up and nearly fell out of bed. That must be a hell of a way to wake up. Hey, Patrik Laine is a Canadian. And yeah, Aiken, yeah, he'll be a good bottom pair D for Columbus until Matachuk, and then he'll stay the bottom pair when Matachuk's in the absolute top 4.
I wanted to say about Bayby's comment. Harris was at the bottom of the totem pole for a reason, though. It's not that he was necessarily the least talented, but he was on the left side, which had the biggest bottleneck. So in that way, a left side defenseman had to move. That made Harris bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, more than Barron.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, obviously don't have to mention it.
But I mean, you got to look at. I mean, just the other defensemen that we have, not even just on the left side, but just in general. Like, there's at least 3, maybe 4 guys that I think are better than Jordan Harris anyway. That needs. Right? Like.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not all here. And Reinbacher really stand out to me. It's like you gotta.
But they're not all here, right? But Harris was, and he had no waiver exemption. So yeah, they had to move him. And that was not a secret, right? That Harris was going to go. Although it was starting to get to geez, is he going to go before the season or what?
Yeah,
right?
is he going to have to play his way out?
Yeah, it's I was getting worried there.
Yeah. But again, it's just sublime asset management because you solved that problem with the log jam on defense, and then you just brought in, another top 6 scoring winger that you've desperately needed, right? If Laine bounces back, and you got a second round pick on top of that, it's just insane GMing work from Ken Hughes.
and Jeff Gordon, you got to give both of them credit for sure.
Well, that's why I prefer sometimes to say management group.
Yeah.
Right. Because, but the face of the management group is Kent Hughes, so it's fair to say Kent Hughes. But understand that I think it's not just Kent Hughes. It's
honestly, I think most of the time it's the two of them working together. That's why they both came in at the same time.
And then there's the scouts and there. No, it's a group. Yeah. It's a management group that Kent Hughes is the face of.
Right.
Kind of like a rock band, right? He's the lead singer.
That's the thing too. Kent Hughes does legitimately talk things over with everybody. He doesn't just go, "Well, I'm the GM. I'm just going to go and make decisions."
They all do.
He gets input from everybody before he makes decisions.
They all do. Apparently, they all do. They share information left and right. It's an open communication in that front office, apparently. Where it wasn't like that under Bergevin at all.
No.
And that's why it works so well, is that everybody kind of knows what's going on, and it's easier to make decisions or what to bring up to other, when you know what everybody's thinking, and, because there's all that communication. Communication is what's great. I keep telling these guys, I'm not putting it so much on Harry because Harry's not in all the meetings, but I keep telling these guys communication. And they don't listen to me either, so I'm sorry. I felt compelled to say that. It's because I'm old. What could I say? Let's see. Okay. Here's interesting. Aiken says you underrate Suzuki, but Doc offensive ceiling is higher in his opinion. I like where you're going there. I don't necessarily disagree with that, Aiken. But Doc has to prove it more, right? Doc has a little proving to do, where Suzuki's kind of put that up there already, right? But I agree with you that Doc has not hit his ceiling even close yet. And he won't this season either. Like, whatever he's going to get this season, he's got room to go, I believe.
I mean, he's only 23.
Yeah, I think Doc could be the number 1C here as well. Not yet, but, I think he could challenge for it. I don't think he'll get it, but you'll have like 2 number 1Cs for your top 2 lines. So I don't underestimate or undervalue Doc at all.
For Christ's
I don't undervalue Doc at all. I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people do.
Because I saw what you retweeted from SDPN, and they didn't mention Kirby Doc at all.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's and this is what's his name? Campbell there. What's his name?
It was Adam Wilde and
Johnson, Chris Johnson and Adam Wilde talking about the Habs and the trade. And they're talking about maybe the Habs will go out and get a second line center as well and fill that hole. And they never mention Kirby Doc. And it's like, are you kidding me? You two guys are supposed to know what the fuck you're talking about. Chris Johnson there's a fucking insider. And he doesn't know about Kirby Doc? Are you kidding me? Wow, I'd be totally ashamed if I'm this guy looking at that after and going, Kirby Doc, how did I not? Like, you should hand in your fucking credentials, dude. I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I could really think of is obviously with the injury issues, like, I don't know, maybe they weren't.
I don't care. But you mentioned that.
No, but irregardless, like, Kirby Doc's on the team, he's the second line center until proven otherwise.
Right. You mentioned that's all. So you mentioned that. You don't totally, like, he's not even on the team. Like, how do you do that? I just don't get it. I don't get it. I get that he may be he's got injury issues, maybe. But come on. Going into this season, how are you leaving him out?
Yeah, no, look, and I agree. And I like listening to Adam Wilde and Chris Johnson. Like, for the most part, they know their stuff. They're good listening. But yeah, it caught me off guard because I was waiting for one of them to say, well, Kirby Doc's there. And I'm like, ooh, he's not on the hold on, let me just Google real quick and check the roster. Last time I checked, he was on the team.
They're a little bit dusty, but it's because they wear glasses that are like this, except they have a Leaf logo on them. And you know what? When I put these glasses on, can't see very well through them. They're just, fun, that's their problem. They got Leaf freaking glasses on, and that's all they see. And they don't. And Chris Johnson, who is a league insider, should know about the Habs. I get it that, sometimes you're following a team. You don't know about every other team. So Adam Wilde, maybe you can give him a pass. Johnson, no.
No, I agree. I don't know why he didn't mention Kirby Doc.
He doesn't get a pass. That's strictly having Leafs on the brain. I don't know what else that is. There. One of my rat crickets now all of a sudden. What happened?
I think Wilde said something too about, like, the Canadiens still need a top line center that can rival Austin Matthews. I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure Nick Suzuki's played in a Stanley Cup final already. And, like, has been a captain for, like, 3 years now.
Want to hear an interesting stat? Patrik Laine, when he was in his first 2 seasons, I'm not sure which season, the Jets had a decent playoff run. He had 12 points. If you go and look at that, he was under 20, right? So he's fourth or fifth on the list of players that under the age of 20 had 12 points in the playoffs in one run, right? And, Gretzky's ahead of him like that. A whole list of players, great players that didn't have 12, right? So then the guy says, and guess, here's an interesting stat, and I think it's Grant McCagg that did this. Austin Matthews never had 12 points in one playoff year.
Well, yeah, he's never played more than 7.
So, okay, but still, Never had that. Laine, when he was under 20, had it.
I think Suzuki, the year we went to the Cup final, must have had around there.
He must have. Hell, didn't Caulfield have 10?
Suzuki had 16. Caulfield had 12.
There, Caulfield already had 12. So,
God, I forgot how good Corey Perry was in those playoffs. 10 points in those 22 games.
yeah, he was a bit of a force. He was.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like a lot considering his age and everything. That was pretty and good. Like the points were important ones.
Yes,
he had a
they
couple
were.
of game winners, if I'm not mistaken.
He had important points.
Pretty sure he did.
One of them, I think, was against the Leafs too.
Yep.
No,
Right,
Byron game 1, Suzuki game 5, Byron game 6. I think he was game 7 then. Yeah, actually.
No,
I know Gallagher had the 5-hole goal, and then Perry on the power play. Yeah, so Perry had the game winner in game 7.
No, Paul Byron, didn't he?
No, that was game 1. When he gets tripped up on the breakaway, and
Right. Didn't he have another one in that series, or I'm wrong? Byron.
No, he had one in Vegas, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, 2 super stickers coming in.
Oh, look at that. That's another one from Matt.
Yeah, one from Matt and one from Kenny B.
Is that a second one, literally, or?
Yeah, that's a second.
Well, Kenny B, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Awesome. And good to see your face there.
Oh,
And same with Matt Greer. It's like your face has popped up on that. And it's
Yeah, I
cool to
like
see you
that.
guys put a face to the name. I like that.
yeah. Before
And-
it used to just be the name and the
Yeah, well, Kenny
sticker
B
would show
too.
up.
And Matt Greer, you see Matt a lot. First time I'm seeing his face. So awesome, both you guys. Glad to put a face to the name. And thank you. Really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
thank you very
Matt,
much.
get a second entry, and Kenny, you get entered as well for the next draw.
Mhm.
And if we keep getting donos like this, that draw will come up soon enough.
Oh yeah.
That draw will come up soon enough. And one of the reasons they dropped off was the donos dropped off. So like it has to be funded by that. That's the whole thing. That was the whole point in the beginning and all that. So anyway, so that's just a clever way to beg for money, is it? I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's see. Where did we leave off? I'm not sure back here.
We left off with
Expression.
oh god.
Yeah, okay. I think I know where I am. Nothing new there. I'm gonna go look for comments that I bypassed. Aiken says Laine scored 18 goals in 1 month a few years back.
That
Laine
is true. He did that.
Laine can still score. Clearly, when he is motivated, I don't think he's lost that much when he's motivated. So I got to think that that's the guy we're going to see here is that motivated Patrik Laine. And if we do get that guy, I don't even know what to expect. Honestly, I don't know what to expect from where they're going to finish. When we're doing the Metro, I'm going to do it again, Matt. We're doing the Atlantic Division on the next Pucking Around podcast on Monday. So we're going over that. So I had already done a standings prediction for next year. I had Montreal in 6th in the division, right? Now people thought I'm a little crazy, a little high and all that. Now I think that's low. And I'm not saying, they're going to be in 2nd. I'm not saying that, but I think easily 5th. And there's a good potential now for them to actually make the playoffs. I still don't know. I'm not going there yet, but I'd put them up a notch as far as wherever you had them. They're going to finish higher than that.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to have them finish 4th or 5th in the division. I don't.
Yeah, we can.
If they get to 4th, we're looking at.
I think we're already better than Ottawa. I think adding Laine just strictly with that potential there that puts us over Buffalo.
Ottawa and Buffalo, yeah.
Damn,
Buffalo.
Detroit might even maybe a little better than Detroit. I don't know. But
not just a little. We're way better than Detroit. We are in a whole nother league. Detroit is bottom of the basement.
That puts us 4th in the division, I think, or 5th.
5th.
About that, assuming one of Boston or Tampa fall off, which one of them's bound to eventually.
Tampa, if anybody, I think it's Tampa might. So I think personally, it's going to end up Montreal is going to be just behind Tampa by not much. And I think they're just going to miss out for the playoffs now.
It's certainly in the realm of possibility. Like, it's certainly nothing to scoff at. The potential's there.
That's if everything, breaks the right way. The injuries aren't there. Like that has to happen. But if it does, I think, man, we're gonna see a playoff race to get to the playoffs. That race, I think so.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. The other thing, I mentioned it earlier, but we got sidetracked. But like, Rick, you and I even talked about the power play. The power play now. Because now Patrik Laine is going to be on the second power play line, and now you get a sharpshooter there.
You got a sharpshooter on each line. You've got, no matter which line Lane Hudson quarterbacks, he's got a sharpshooter.
Either Caulfield or Laine. Unless they decide to stack that first lineup, which it wouldn't surprise me if they do.
They might. They might.
But even then, right? Like,
but then you'll have two sharpshooters to shoot at.
Laine,
even better.
Plus, you've got Suzuki who takes the lower circle, slap in front, Lane at the blue line. Like,
well, then the second power play unit, right? You could probably Matheson quarterbacking it. Laine the sharpshooter.
Doc's at the center.
Presence and Newhook's flying around the zone, just playing keep away. Like,
you're trying to tell me 45-year-old Brendan Gallagher's not on the power play?
No. Now listen, those two units are going to be pretty goddamn good. Our power play percentage is going to go up without a doubt.
It should. With adding Laine, it should be top 10, especially because we don't have Burrows now controlling the power play and holding it for ransom.
We still don't know who's going to be doing that, eh?
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be more so all the coaches kind of just chip in a little, but I think it's going to be more so Marty.
It's a possibility because Marty was sharing that duty with Burrows last season.
Yeah.
They were both doing it. So it's very possible he takes over. I mean, it might spread him a little thin. I would hope not if he does that. But
yeah, no.
Either way, this power play is going to be better.
It should be. It better be. It better be because if it's not better, then there's a jinx here that and that's the only explanation because I mean the talent that's going to be on both lines, not just the one line, right? I mean both lines are improved, both units. So then special teams is the defense. We might have a real contrast between power play and then the defense. The penalty kill might not be up to where it needs to be. That's great, yeah.
But that,
obviously you're going to have
the power play's a lot better. It kind of balances itself out, and then
overall we're a little better, but I mean it's still.
Plus, I think your forwards on the penalty kill are better than usually they are with Armia, Evans.
I think especially if
Dvorak.
Doc's healthy, I think Doc's a pretty decent penalty, right? Like having him on one of those PK units will be much better.
I'm not saying it'll be. I don't think it'll be worse than last year, but I mean I don't think it'll be as big of a leap as I think that the power play.
As long as it's decent and the power play is pretty good, like it's fine.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it's like as long as the penalty kill is not abysmal, like if it's decent, like if it's in like kind of the average to a little bit above average area in the league, like I think that's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's two questions. Quickly go here. Joe says, imagine power plays becoming power play 1A and 1B. It's, I was thinking, like, how last year the power play first unit played about a minute and a half, 30 seconds, about maybe 45 for the second unit. I think they'll split probably more like
1-1.
So it will be more like a 1A, 1B, I think, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like especially when Demidov gets here next year, like.
Well, okay, now we gotta make sure people know what you're saying. Next year, a lot of people still see next year as the season coming up, but we are into 24-25 season. So
yeah,
Yeah, it's tough to get used to that at the beginning. I just wanted to highlight this question from Kenny B.
No.
Will Marty be on a short leash this season?
No, it's at least 3 years before he even gets considered to be on a short leash. The expectation this year is be competitive. As long as we're competitive, and I think as long as we're playing meaningful games into March, maybe even April, that's a win for the season. I don't think there's any real pressure on Marty for at least 2 more seasons.
I tend to agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, we're still developing guys. Like it's not like Harry, I totally agree. There's no pressure on Marty to make the playoffs and win anything right now. Again, I agree. I think if we're playing meaningful hockey into March and maybe even early April, that's a win for me because that's another step in the right direction.
Progression. It's progression into.
Right. Yep.
So here's from Corey. Odds aren't great, but I'm going bold. I'm predicting Boston versus Montreal in round 1. Yeah, I don't think so, but I mean, hey,
I'd love it.
You can't go wrong with a Boston Montreal playoff series where
the best would be Montreal and Toronto, Game 7 overtime. Laine scores the overtime winner. Just to watch Toronto implode.
The next time Montreal-Toronto makes a playoff series, Montreal is going to make mincemeat out of Toronto. Because by the time that happens, Montreal is going to be just coming into that being good and dominating the league, and Toronto's going to be on that way down.
Yeah, they're going to be on the downswing. Marner's going to be gone. Matthews is about to be leaving. Nylander's going to be thinking, why am I even here?
Matthews said his goal is to be a Leaf for life. That's why you
only signed 5 years.
But that's why he only signed 5 years and not the 8 years, because he wants to be a Leaf for life.
Yeah.
God damn! Did you see that transfer of power? I guess, do you want to call it?
Yeah.
The most awkward,
it's
cringy, awkward thing I've seen in a long time.
I didn't see the full thing, but I saw like little clips of it. I was like, I can't watch this. I can't. This is I couldn't.
I couldn't. I only watched. I didn't watch the whole speech that Tavares made, but what I saw was just cringy and awkward.
Yeah, no. And I'll still say
somewhere else. Hey?
I'll still say if the Leafs want to win, Morgan Riley should have been the guy. I love Morgan Riley. I think he's a great
we talked
leader.
about that on Pat last week.
Yeah, we did.
Most of us agreed that Morgan Riley should have been the pick.
Let me guess. It was Alex who didn't agree.
No, I think it was pretty unanimous.
Wow. Oh wow!
I mean,
most of us, I assume that I automatically assume it's Alex that goes against the grain.
Because I think it's obvious. The thing is that they don't get it over there.
No, it's like, the biggest star needs to be the guy who has the captaincy. It's like no, like he doesn't even need a number. A number like Slap's their best player, and he doesn't even have a number or a letter.
No,
Slap somehow has no number anymore.
Yeah, no number. He doesn't have a number. He played for 10 years for the Leaf and never got a number.
I do wonder if there's some loophole where a player could play with no number. I wonder if there's some weird loophole.
His name is blank. John Doe. John Doe wouldn't have a number.
That's true. No, he wouldn't. Oh, Gislain's got a good question. Would we keep Joshua and Laval until he dominates the AHL? Or then let him join the second or third line? Or I'm assuming it'd be, or would you call him up right now?
It's an interesting question because what do you do? I thought he was going to be a second liner before the Laine trade, right?
Yeah.
But now, if he's not going to be in the top 6, it's a good question. I have him on the third line. I do. But I could easily see him starting Laval.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily something that's set in stone. I think it's going to be something that into camp they're going to be testing Waugh, Harvey Pinard, and probably guys like Farrell.
Harvey Pinard broke his leg. He's out.
Oh shit! Yeah, I keep forgetting. He's so irrelevant. I keep forgetting that he has a broken leg. If he were in camp, he would have been one of the guys getting tested. But like Waugh, Farrell, these guys, I think it's going to be an open test to see if it's worth keeping one of these guys for a third line spot or better to just send all of them down to Laval. I think Waugh does get sent down just because I think that first line in the A is going to need a guy like Waugh. And then I think it's better to call him up next year for that third line once Dvorak's gone, whether we trade him or we just let him walk. I think it's better to get a guy in at that stage when you can have Newhook as your third line center and he can play with a guy like Waugh. I think it'll be better.
Yeah, I have him being on the third, but you know what? It makes sense. What you just said, it makes sense for him to be in Laval too.
Yeah, it makes sense both ways.
If he's pretty much, I see him as a top 6 player. So if he's not going to be in the top 6, and you've got other guys that make more sense maybe to have, but then again, maybe he gets his first year. I mean, Suzuki started on the 4th line, so there's that.
That is true. He did worked his way, I think, to the 3rd line by the end of the year. His first year, I think.
Yeah, he was on the 3rd line. Then the next year, he was on the 2nd line.
Yeah, and now he's been consistently first line. Yeah,
right up. Yep. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a good question.
Yep.
I mean, what do they do with Barry Boulet in this case now? Maybe Barry Boulet instead of
as much as I love Barry Boulet, I do think he's an AHLer. I'd love to see him on the 4th line. I actually thought we signed him to get rid of Dvorak to use him on the 4th line, have Evans on the 3rd line.
I would have thought. I mean,
but
4th line.
Yeah, but Barry Boulet with him, it does make sense why we signed him, and we probably use him in the A, because you look at what he's done in the AHL. 2 years ago in 69 games, he had 84 points. The year before that in 58, he had 63. So this is a guy who's I think you could say an AHL superstar if there's an equivalent of that, but he's definitely like an AHL top line guy. So I think that they hired him with they signed him with either, okay, we can put him on the 4th line. If he doesn't work, top line AHL. I think it was more a depth move, obviously, if anything. I wouldn't be surprised to see him make a 4th line role, potentially, if a guy like Pezzetta or an Anderson end up out of the lineup. I wouldn't be surprised, but I do think that he starts the year in Laval, unfortunately. I'm a big Barry Boulet fan, so I wanted to see him with the Habs. I think no matter what, they'll give him a couple games at the end of the year or the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so maybe if Waugh doesn't start, so maybe, you have Galley, Andy, and Devo, which is what I would have thought before the Laine trade. And then you'd have Armia, Evans, and Pezzetta. So then who would be the 13th forward? Yeah, that's easy to solve that problem.
I mean, it even could be Barry Boulet. He's 27. He's
13th forward.
Basically hit his prime. Yeah, he could be that guy, I think.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll have to see how camp works out.
Yep.
For that, just just the addition to Laine makes changes necessary, and more than likely somebody is not going to be on the Habs roster that might have been
that we expected. Yeah,
obviously, right? That's it's not even that smart to say that because that's just obvious.
Yeah, it's just a fact.
Yeah, it's a fact of life. Kenny B agrees 3rd line for Roy. Aiken says Joshua already dominated in the AHL. So anyway, I'll have to see how training camp works out. Gislain says for him, 13th guy is Barry Boulet. He can play all 4 positions and is 27 years old, so nothing left to learn in the AHL. I agree with that, actually. And considering this and what's happened, it makes sense probably that Barry Boulet is the guy that is the guy sitting on the bench. I mean, you just signed him. There's no investment in this kid. There's no long-term investment. There's just he's there.
It's a 1-year deal.
He's there to do a job, and he's got NHL experience. He can play all the positions. Kind of makes sense to have him as the 13th forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's a good piece of business. Depth business can never have enough depth.
Oh, never.
No, but I mean, they're getting their depth is so much better. Can you believe that they're just now? Some people will argue when this rebuild started, but for me, new management came in. This rebuild started then. We're only entering year 3.
I know.
It's a mix of Bergeron's last 3 years being as good as they were, and new management knowing the direction they wanted to go in and executing it to a T.
That's just crazy. The difference in this team.
It is
when they took over. What a difference in this team.
Yeah. It's crazy. I would not expect us to have 5 superstar caliber talents. Well, one of them still we're waiting on, but 4 superstar caliber talents on the 5 actually, because Lane Hudson's here.
When was the last time the Habs had like 2 legitimate lines?
Top 6 lines.
That's what I mean.
Probably
Yeah.
the 90s.
Legitimate top 6, 2 legitimate top 6 lines.
Yeah. Oh, I don't remember when 70s.
And, like we've said, when Demidov gets it, you're gonna have a third line that's gonna be pretty damn decent too. Like
Law, Newhook, and Farrell probably.
It's gonna be.
And then you're like another 4 or 5 guys deep back in Laval if something happens. So
yeah, it's reminiscent of the teams in the 70s. And I think it was their goal, right? Their goal was.
Well, I mentioned it last night. Like, I know it was different back then, but like, I mean, the last time the Habs had management that was building this good and putting together a team this good, I mean, it was Sam Pollock. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Some people are saying since Serge Savard, and I like Serge Savard, and he was a good GM. I don't think he did stuff like this.
No, he was a good contender GM, just not a good construction GM.
He won a cup, 2 cups.
No, but I mean, he's a good cup contending general manager to help a team win a Stanley Cup, just not necessarily
and in a different era, and true, and also in a different era too.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. When scouting was like, don't go to Europe, it's all North American boys.
But so was Pollock. Pollock was in even a different era than Savard was in, as far as how it was done, right?
Yeah.
But
Pollock revolutionized the way drafting was. What was it? Guy Lafleur for a couple bums, basically.
Yeah, I mean that also at the beginning of all that era of the draft and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I dare say we haven't had as good a GM since. Yeah, Pollock got to be the last GM that compares with this guy.
Because, I mean, it's not just the player personnel on the ice. Like, you got to, the way he's structuring the cap, the way, again, basically brought in player development for the first time in 1,000 years to Montreal. Like, now we're developing guys that we're drafting. We're not drafting them and going, all right, you're going to go play first line. And if you fail, well, them's the breaks. Like, we're drafting kids and we're letting them marinate a little bit, letting them get to a point where they're ready to play in the NHL. And then when they hit the NHL, they're damn good hockey players. Like it's just totally different than what I've been used to in my lifetime for sure.
I agree. Shazan says, you may think I'm crazy, but something bothers me with the current Habs. I believe that bottom 6 is not ready to be replaced yet. I'm confused.
What guys like Gallagher, Anderson, Evans? Is that what you're talking about, Gisela?
Yeah, like who are you talking about?
Yeah, because like Evans, yeah. I think he
6.
should be the perpetual 4th line center for at least 3-4 more years. I think he can handle that. But yeah,
I want clarification on what he means by that.
Yeah.
Here's one here. BL, how's it going, man? Jacob Fowler is 3 or 4 years away. I don't know about that.
I think 1 or 2. I've said this before.
I think there's a legitimate chance we might see him for a couple of games at the end of this upcoming season.
Yeah,
because I think this is the last year at Boston College, especially if he puts up a season like he did last year. He's done with BC after this year. We'll probably see him in a cup of coffee at the end of the season.
Yep.
Give him a year in Laval, and then it's off to the races.
That's what I've been saying for months. Matt, you must be watching my content.
He's just insane. Insane.
You're looking at 2 years. I think 2 years, and then so third year from now, I think is a possibility. I'm not saying it's written in stone at all. We could see Jacob Fowler here then. So yeah. And it's not just us crazy Habs fans saying this. This is what a lot of experts are starting to say about Fowler.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like I'm the college hockey expert here. Like I watched even people in the chat, and again, I mean, there might be college hockey people in the chat, but at least out of the 3 of us, I've watched the most Jacob Fowler by far, like in person and on TV, and it's just insane how good he is already, and it's scary how much better he's gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
now, is it a possibility something slows this down, yeah, but I mean, it doesn't look like that's gonna be
No.
the case.
And
Not playing it. See, not with the freshman season he just put up. I mean, he was a top 5 goalie in the country. I think top 2.
Right.
Like
He repeats that
Yeah.
at all. He's not.
I mean, he's the
standing-
reason Boston College won the Hockey East title game. Like, it was
But if he has
insane.
another season like that, and he's jumping,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think that's pretty. I mean, I would agree with that. Okay, here's a question. Do you guys see Askarov in Montreal? No.
No, I think with the attitude that he's shown of I'm not reporting to camp and I'm not going to the AHL.
That too, yeah.
I don't think that leads him to being in Montreal. Now, of course, obviously, there's the whole we already have Jacob Fowler. We don't need a subpar goaltender like Askarov, at least in comparison.
I don't
Obviously,
know if subpar, but to
well,
what
in
end?
comparison to Fowler, Askarov's going to look like
okay, but
child's
to what
play.
end does he? Like, why would they go and give up
It
assets?
doesn't make sense. I think Montembeault and Primo are more than adequate for the time being. I think Jacob
Absolutely.
Dolbish could take another step this year in Laval, and then Jacob
Yes.
Fowler's right there too. Like there's no point. There's no point in bringing him in unless
No.
It doesn't make any sense to bring in.
It doesn't make sense, and they're not bringing them in.
And we got
they're pretty much
another
done.
goalie, a kid out of Russia who's very, very good too. So it's not like we're short of goaltending.
Right. And
What's his name?
high caliber goaltending depth at that too. Like
makes no sense. Just there, Kent Hughes is not Sam Pollock, but not far
no,
off.
and I'm not saying he's Sam Pollock, but in terms of like the way he's going about building this team and the moves he's making, like Mark Bergevin can't hold Ken Hughes' jock for Christ's sake. Like let's be real. You know what I mean? Like it's like that. Like
Aiken looks like Patrik Laine a lot.
I love that profile
I
picture.
I know he looks so much like Patrik Laine. It's crazy.
Yeah, he does.
Goalie development is very weird. We do not know that Fowler will progress like that. You know what though? Let me add. You know what though?
You want to defer to me for that?
There's guys that you could say that about, and then there's guys like Fowler who it's clear this is a guy that stands above the other guys in his class in that, as a goalie. There's something special about him. No, so I think we can say that he's going to develop into what we think he's going to be.
Well, you could have deferred to me.
What?
He's playing at Boston College.
Yeah, he's
fine.
He's
Look
trending.
at the top 5 goalies in the league right now. Ottinger went to BU, Hockey East. Thatcher Demko, Boston College, Hockey East.
Okay, but there's goalies that went to
UMass Lowell, Hockey East.
There's goalies that have been there that didn't do that. He's an exceptional talent. He has exceptional drive.
Jeremy Swayman, UMaine, Hockey East.
All right.
4 out of the top 5 goalies in the league right now all came out of Hockey East.
Andrei Vasilevsky, Hockey.
Jacob Fowler's going to be just fine.
He'll be fantastic.
Okay, so if you're going to use this here, he uses Caden Primo was hyped about. He went to Northeastern, not Hockey East.
No, it is Hockey East actually.
Okay, but not Boston College or University.
No, he didn't go to a good development system. He was playing with guys like Adam Gaudette and Dylan Sakura.
All right, here's another question.
Fine. Like, no, Northeastern can pumps out decent hockey players, but like Primo's still fine. Like he's no slouch. But
yeah,
I mean, he had a fantastic end of the year.
Yeah, and Fowler is clearly better anyway. Is Sean Farrell?
Even as much as I hate to admit this, because he's on the list, but Joseph Wall went to Boston College.
We're moving on. Just like the littlest hobo. We're moving on. Is Sean Farrell NHL ready? No.
I think one more year and he'd be ready for a bottom 6 role.
I think he's close to maybe knocking on the door of being NHL ready. Like I don't think he's insanely far off, but no, I agree with Harry. I think he needs a little bit more time to marinate. But I don't think.
I like Sean Farrell. I think he could be a good 3rd-line guy. But no, another year in the AHL and then potentially NHL ready.
He's going to be moved in a package. So I don't think he's going to play for Montreal.
Could be maybe.
That's my opinion.
Plus, I forget who mentioned it as well, but yeah, we have Michael Hage as well, who could also slot in on that third line with guys like Juan Newhook. So we're gonna have depth.
And Beck's still there. Ishar's still in the system. Like I said,
no, we don't have.
We're gonna have like 3 legitimate lines, and we're gonna be about 4 or 5 guys deep.
Yep.
In case something happens,
it'll be good depth. We're gonna have a good team.
Yeah, we're gonna be.
There will be no. Derek agrees with me. No room for Farrell down the road. That's what I just think. There's no room for him. I'm not saying he's not an NHL player. I don't think he's ready yet, but I don't think there's going to be room for him when he is. I just don't see it with Farrell. His time, he had his chance, and you see a lot of players like that, right? They just can't get there, and the other guys come in, and that's how I see Farrell.
Yeah, that's the goaltender we got in Russia right now, Volkin.
He's Evgeny Volkin.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, Jack, how's it going?
I wonder if Jack. Oh, sorry.
What did you? Okay, put up what you were putting.
Oh no, I was just gonna say no. Aiken, 1,000%. I mean, Askarov, I think it could be a very, very good NHL goalie, and I understand why he doesn't want to go to the AHL because I think he should be playing NHL hockey.
He is an NHL backup at the very least.
It doesn't make sense for Montreal with what we have now, like in what's coming. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
And I don't think we put him down. I did not put Askarov.
I love Askarov. I think Askarov's a fantastic goaltender.
I like Askarov too. I just said that to talk a little shit.
Jeff wanted us to draft when he.
Yeah, I did want Askarov.
No, Jeff wanted him.
Oh, did he? Yeah. Well, I think I want him as well. I want us to trade up for him. I think that was the year we got Mayu, right?
I don't remember. Sean Farrell occupies the same chair as Alex Newhook.
No. I don't think so, Ghislaine. Newhook plays center wing. Farrell's only a winger. He can play both sides on the wing. I don't say that. I think Michael Hage, you could say, occupies the same type of chair as Alex Newhook, in that they could be very similar players. I think you could say that. But I don't think Sean Farrell's.
There's a difference, though. Newhook is NHL ready. I mean, he's here. He's playing. He's doing well. Farrell's not there yet. He doesn't occupy any chair yet. Northeastern has churned out some good players, says BL. We're talking about goalies, though, in particular, so that might make a difference.
Well, no, I still think he's a fine NHL goalie. I think he's more of a backup, but I mean, he's still a fine NHL goalie. And Devin Levi hasn't. We haven't seen his full potential yet in Buffalo, but again, he's a Buffalo. But no, but again, if you in general consensus, if you draft a goalie from Hockey East, 9 times out of 10 he's going to be pretty damn good. And that's just what Hockey East just turns out terrific hockey players, and again, the big schools like BU and BC typically churn out really good goaltenders.
Okay,
so again, I have no concerns about Jacob Fowler's development whatsoever, and he was the starter last year.
Read the room. It's like playing music at the Oscars when that.
Yeah,
it's like playing music.
Derek, I'm
wait.
Rick's
like, I'm talking.
Oh, sorry.
It says size wins cups. Remember that, but it depends on the size, how big the cup is. Okay, go ahead, Harry. Like I needed a really big cup, but
I'm not sure if I fully agree with that. I mean, you look at the Panthers.
Well, you don't know if I needed a big cup or not. What do you mean you don't agree?
You look at the Panthers. Barkov 6'3", Kachuk is 6'2", Verhaeghe 6'2", Lindell 6'1", Reinhardt 6'2", Rodriguez 5'11", Bennett 6'1", Forsling 6 foot, Montour 6 foot, Tarasenko 6'1", Luosterainen 6'3". Their biggest guy was Aaron Ekblad at 6'4", at least of the guys who mainly contributed and were considered their
you just listed off a whole bunch of 6-footers. That size.
No, but like I think he means it's you need guys that are 6'3", 6'4", and above. Like, no, I mean they have
Not unless
good.
they can
Wait,
play.
all right.
Not just for size. You need
Hold
the
on,
guy
wait.
to-
I gotta think. Hold on. Yaroslav Kovsky 6'4", Patrik Laine 6'5", Kirby Doc 6'4", Demidov 6'1", Gooley 6'2", Arbor 6'4", Florian 6'4".
3.
Sorry. Please don't beat me up, Florian. No.
Sounds like we got size.
I think we have some size.
Sounds like
But,
it.
Suzuki
but
6
what-
foot.
what-
I don't think size is really going to be a problem anymore.
What I
be
was
me.
getting at is that it's not just the size,
just be
obviously.
me.
At this point now, it's the speed, and you have to make sure you have the skill. It's not exclusively, the size is what wins you the cup. No, you've got to have fantastic skill and speed in the NHL as well. That's what we're heading more towards. Guys like Jack Eye are able to balance all three of them, and that's why he's in the lineup for me. I think,
Doc.
Slavkovsky, Doc, and Laine.
Size strictly for the the size.
Yeah.
Of it strictly is wrong.
Exactly. Size
Gotta
strictly
be
for
able to
size is
play.
not what you should do.
If you're picking a guy just because he's big over a smaller guy that has great skill, you're making a mistake.
Yep. If you're picking,
let me think about. I wonder if the Habs have benefited from that though. Let me think. I think there might be a guy on the top line and a guy in the defensive core that we might have benefited from teams taking size for size and not skill. I could be wrong. Could you guys remind me? I might be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know who you're talking about.
actually,
I think one guy played at BU. He's a defenseman. I think he's like 5'10", and I think there's a winger that played at Wisconsin who's like 5'7", who put up like 60 points last year. And
The celebrity in the room.
I mean, I could be wrong.
The celebrity in the room. Mark Bergevin came to see us.
Hi, Mark. We love you. We definitely weren't talking shit.
Mark Bergevin, a parody account. Anderson is gonna pot 25 goals. People think because he took a leap year, he won't find his groove.
I think he has away and the net's empty. We know he's going to bullseye it.
I think he'll have a bit of a bounce back year.
Yeah.
But I don't think
we don't need him to put up that many goals now because
he's not. He's going to be third line at best. So where's his opportunities to pot 25 goals going to come from? I don't know about that.
I would like to address Aiken saying Rempe is a good size guy. No, he's not. He is a fourth line center who doesn't skate. He can't put the puck in the back of the net. He doesn't defend. He's good at headshotting guys and fighting, and that's it. And he's going to be out of the league in 3 years and dead within 10 if he doesn't change the style of his game.
Well, he's actually done a little bit of that by learning how to fight with
LaRock, yeah.
LaRock. So that'll help him there. But yeah, I don't disagree. Rempe is one of those a flash in the pan.
Yeah, he's like I don't want to put down Derek Bugard, but he's like a Derek Bugard. He's only around for a couple years. Fans remember him fondly, but he really,
he's a flash.
Bugard had 3 career goals.
He's sexy right now, and as soon as the next kid in town comes along, bye Matt Rempe. That's what's gonna happen. Because, like he said, can't play hockey. He's just a big guy. That's it. And that he doesn't have longevity.
Didn't the Leafs you can have like that too? That ended up being scratched halfway through the year.
Was that? Say that again?
Gosh, didn't the Leafs sign a guy like that too? Who got scratched halfway through the year and I think shit his pants on national television when he tried to fight Arbor Jacki.
Did you see somebody
and they got injured walking downstairs?
Somebody put out a list of the top 5
enforcers.
Yeah, I guess. And Ryan Reeves was at the top of that list. Like, what?
Maybe in terms of the aura, maybe top 3. But in terms of actual fighting skill at this stage, not a chance.
He still won't fight Arbor Jacki. He won't give him the rematch. He's scared shitless.
Yeah, no.
Of course. Derek says, in the last 25 years, all cup winners have all been bigger teams.
Why do I feel like that's not true? Chicago I felt like a little smaller.
I think it might have the illusion of being true in that there's a lot of bigger guys that can play today than there were in my day anyway, right? So there's a lot of big guys nowadays that can skate, that can play, and they're not just there strictly for size. So maybe it seems like that. But I think, listen, if I'm going to take a team of 5'10" and under players versus a team of 6-footers that are skilled both, then yeah, I'm going with the size. But you can't strictly count a guy out because of his lack of size or his overabundance of size.
No, and if you're trying to make an argument that the Habs don't have size, you just got to go look at the
Well, you
roster.
can't. You know why? We got a little bigger this year, and last season we were the 5th biggest team in the league. So I don't know how we're not. You know, I don't know what does it take.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. What? 4 out of the 6 guys in the top 6 are over 6'3"? Or no, excuse me, they're over 6 foot. 3 of them are over 6'3".
If I'm correct, we only have 2 smallish guys.
Yeah, Suzuki and Caulfield.
5'10", or 3 5'10" and under, and that's Newhook, Hudson, and Caulfield.
Yeah,
from what I understand,
Suzuki's
everybody
just
else
misses the cutoff. He's 5'11".
Suzuki, while he's 5'11", doesn't have a 5'11" body. He's got the body, bulk, and weight and everything of a guy that's over 6 feet.
Yeah,
because he's 212 or something like that now, and that's
he's built like
he's got an NHL body, and that's why he doesn't get pushed around much and can take the hits because he's got the weight there.
Yeah, too. Caulfield's got built like a truck too.
But look at his legs, man.
Wait, I sent you that picture of Lane Hudson too. Like
that's why they can handle hits, right? They can take the hit and not get crushed because those legs can keep them upward and can absorb.
That's why they can avoid guys like Lane Hudson can avoid those hits because he's so agile on those feet, on those legs.
He's agile. That's crazy. He's crazy.
Like he can get so low, it's not even fun. Like
saw Demidov today in they're scrimmaging the or is a preseason thing, preseason scrimmage, SKA. So he's up along the boards, coming up on the right side, right up along the boards, 3 guys on him. 3 guys. Okay, so he skates in along the boards, 2 guys close in on him, 3rd guy comes in that way, and yeah, he's kind of caught, but he gets the puck out to the guy coming down, who gets it to another, and they score. Like he got skill. And that's in the KHL, and that's KHL players he's playing against there. So he can play.
No, absolutely he can.
He can play. I don't know why I brought that up, but I saw that. I wanted to bring it up earlier when we were talking about Demidov. So it's out there. It's I saw this on Twitter, so it's a clip that's out there. Try to look for that. Derek says Reeves should retire. Yes. When a player asks, well, no, he's signed for another year. Let them play him. A lot. He should get like 15 minutes a night. When a player asks for a trade, it's like the kiss of death. I don't know that that's true 100% of the time. That's all I'm going to say.
Didn't Kovalev ask for a trade when he got dealt to Montreal?
Who?
Kovalev when he got traded to Montreal.
Honestly, I don't remember back then. That's a long time ago. It could be. I don't remember. But it's not true 100% of the time. I'll say it's definitely a red flag. Mm-hmm. Definitely a red flag. But that's when you go and you interview the guy. You talk to the players who played with him. They did all that. They talked to coaches and players and all. They found out the situation, talked to the guy, made a decision. Mm-hmm. We'll see how it works out. I think it'll work out fine.
I think so too. Hugo really haven't made any bad moves.
Listen, if you were in Columbus, would you request a trade right now?
I would, yeah.
That's right.
If you had a chance from going to almost getting coached by Mike Babcock to being coached by Marty St. Louis, would you request a trade?
It's clear from talk like that interview with him that Columbus was not a good place for him.
No, and
it just wasn't a good place, and that's why the game went downhill.
He's not a guy that just wants to team hop like Pierre-Luc Dubois. Like, legitimately did not like being in Columbus, and it messed with him bad.
That's another thing.
That's why he was in the player assistance pro. Like, there's a legitimate reason why he wanted out. Like, I think we could all safely assume that. And
And
Like, I'm fine
Columbus
with that.
obviously agreed because they made this deal,
Yeah.
right? So they obviously agreed that he needed to go. And Waddell, I saw what Waddell said, and it's basically, he needs to go. He can't come back here. So, and that's not because he's not a good player. It wasn't. It was the mental issues. What made him, seek help from the player assistance program. So when all that speculation of what he went in there for, it's clear he went in there for mental health issues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't drugs. It wasn't alcohol.
It wasn't the video games.
Video games. I don't think so. I don't think so.
We really haven't heard a lot of that since it first came out. It seems like he has gotten a hold of that. So
it happened when he was young. And he didn't know how to handle
the first year or maybe two
in Winnipeg, where they weren't giving him great support, and he was having trouble handling the NHL.
I think the Players Assistance Program was like just brand new as well, so it wasn't like he could go into it then for that.
Right, and it took him a few years, but I mean, he made the right decision, and we'll see how that works out. Whether we're overly optimistic or not, I don't know. It's possible we are. I don't feel we are here in this case. I really don't feel we are. All right, we're running like way over, so we're going to cut it here. I want to thank everybody that's been here. It's been a good audience. Thanks for everybody sticking that out, and especially in the chat. Really apologize that I didn't get to everybody. That's unusual for me, but the conversation was just I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So we're going to be back on this show. It'll probably just be me next week. But I'm not sure if I'm back next week. It's every 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we are just about done our summer schedule. Just about. Basically back to normal after this week, but not fully, but basically. So you'll be seeing more of us as we get closer to the season. And that's it. Thanks everybody for being here. I'm not going to chat anymore. Thanks for my
Thanks for those. Really appreciate
being here. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Super chats.
I didn't hear what they said.
What I just said, thank you to Matt Greer, and I can't remember the other gentleman that donated.
Thanks to Matt. Thanks to Kenny B for the donos. Super appreciate it. And Matt, don't forget, send me an email. We'll get you a shirt. Don't worry.
I'll get on it.
And anybody else wants a t-shirt, send an email to the email in the description, talkinghabs@gmx.com, and we'll get you a shirt. That's in Canada for now. If you're in the States, sorry, we can't do that right now. But in Canada, hit me up and we'll get you a shirt. All right, that's it. I'm going to stop talking right now because I'm talking too much. Till next time, stay safe out there. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night. Ciao, boys.